Working for a narcissistic boss felt like being trapped in a psychological maze. Every day was a new puzzle of manipulation, gaslighting, and shifting goalposts. I'd go home exhausted, not from the work, but from the mental gymnastics required to just survive the day. My confidence was in tatters. I started questioning my own abilities, my own perception of reality. Was I really that incompetent? Was I always making mistakes? The constant criticism, disguised as constructive feedback, was relentless. He'd take credit for my successes and publicly blame me for his failures. It was isolating. I felt like I was on an island, and the tide was rising. I knew I couldn't handle this alone. The first person I reached out to was my partner. Just having someone listen without judgment was a lifeline. He didn't try to solve it. He just affirmed my feelings. He'd say, "That sounds incredibly frustrating," or "What you're experiencing isn't normal." This simple validation was powerful. It was the first crack of light in the fog of doubt. It helped me realize I wasn't going crazy. The situation was, we started having dedicated vent sessions where I could just unload the day's events. It became a safe space to process the emotional toll. Next, I reconnected with a few trusted friends, people I knew had my back. I was hesitant at first, worried they wouldn't understand or would think I was just complaining about my job, but I took the risk. I met one friend for coffee and just laid it all out. Her reaction was immediate empathy. She shared a story about her own difficult manager from a few years back, and suddenly I felt less alone. We talked for hours. It wasn't just about complaining, it was about strategizing. She suggested I start documenting everything, not as a weapon, but as a way to keep my own sanity and track reality. This led me to my next step, finding professional allies. I confided in a senior colleague in a different department whom I deeply respected. I chose carefully, someone known for their integrity and discretion. I didn't unload all the emotional baggage on them. Instead, I framed it professionally. I'd say things like, "I'm struggling to get clear, consistent direction on this project. Do you have any advice on how to manage upwards in this kind of environment?" Their perspective was invaluable. They provided practical, actionable advice on navigating the corporate structure, on how to phrase emails, and how to present my work in a way that couldn't be easily undermined. They became my professional mentor and reality check within the company walls. The documentation became my anchor. I created a private log. I'd note down specific incidents, the date, the time, what was said, what was promised, and what actually happened. For example, March 15th, 10 a.m. meeting, boss praised my project proposal and said to move forward. 4 p.m. email, boss CC'd the entire team saying the proposal was fundamentally flawed and needed a complete rework, without mentioning his earlier approval. This wasn't about building a legal case. It was about holding on to my own reality. When he tried to gaslight me by saying, "I never said that," I could look at my log and know I wasn't misremembering. It was my proof for myself. Then I looked outside of work for a different kind of support. I joined a professional networking group in my industry. Hearing stories from people in other companies helped me recalibrate my sense of what a normal, healthy workplace looks like. It expanded my perspective beyond the toxic bubble I was in. It also reminded me that I had valuable skills and that there were other opportunities out there. This network became my window to the outside world, a reminder that this job wasn't my entire identity or my only option. Finally, I sought therapy. Talking to a professional who understands workplace dynamics and narcissistic behavior was a game changer. My therapist gave me tools and language to understand what was happening. She taught me about grey rocking, a technique where you become as uninteresting and unresponsive as a grey rock to a narcissist's provocations. She helped me set emotional boundaries and work through the damage to my self-esteem. Therapy wasn't just about coping, it was about healing and building resilience for the future. Building this multi-layered support network didn't change my boss, but it changed everything for me. My partner provided emotional safety. My friends gave me solidarity. My colleague offered practical strategies. My professional network showed me a world of possibilities. And my therapist helped me heal and grow stronger. Each person was a thread in a safety net that caught me. It allowed me to detach emotionally, protect my mental health, and eventually gave me the strength and clarity to plan my exit and find a workplace where I could truly thrive.